Now we want to introduce into this conversation the powerful law of attraction. Law of attraction is the manager of vibration. And since you live in a world, you live in a universe that is only about vibration, then law of attraction is central to what is going on in this vibrational universe, and your understanding of it is central to your deliberate creation, to your deliberate evolution, to your deliberate living life happily ever after in this physical time-space reality. So what law of attraction says is that which is likened to itself is drawn. There's a vibrational equivalency. It's like when you tune something with your radio dial. If you want to listen to a particular station, you've got to tune your tuner to the same frequency that what you are wanting to hear is being broadcast from. So that's the way everything in this universe is working. So your source is broadcasting a signal, and you have the opportunity of tuning to that or not. When you tune to it, you feel wonderful. That's when you are at your clearest, or your most fun, or your most joyful, or your most vital. That's when you are energized. That's when you are full of you. But when you don't tune your tuner to who you really are, when your signal is off, that's when you are introducing resistance or static to the equation. That's when you feel less good. That's when negative emotion is present. You're sort of getting a sense of this? Now, this is why it is that way. Because law of attraction is responding to the vibration that is being offered across the board. Everything is vibrating, and law of attraction is responding to everything that is vibrating and matching up those signals. So you get what you think about, whether you want it or not, because when you're thinking about it, you're offering the signal. So law of attraction is matching all of that up. But this is the important part. We're just going to take just a very brief period of time here to help you to understand why you have emotional guidance, why it exists within you, and why it matters so much. So this you that we've been talking about, this eternal you, is a powerful point of attraction. And here you are in your physical body, exploring, knowing what you don't want, knowing what you do want, launching rockets of clarity from your point of view. Preferences, personal, important to you preferences of what you prefer. When someone's rude, you want them to be nicer. When you don't have enough of something, you feel. And so each time, whether you speak words about it or not, you have an experience that helps you to clarify. You launch these vibrational emanations, these rockets of desires exude from you, and your inner being, who is standing in your vibrational universe, receives the new request, integrates it immediately into the whole that your inner being is, and becomes that point of attraction. Now here's the important part. Law of attraction then responds to that newly expanded, newly amended point of attraction. Does that make sense to you? The question is, where are you in relationship to that? In other words, someone was mean to you and you launched a rocket of desire to feel better, and your inner being received that and stands there in that much better feeling place as a result of what you've lived. But where are you standing in relationship to that expansion? Usually over here complaining about what happened. Usually over here defending your position and why you feel bad about something. So you are separating yourself, usually not deliberately, usually unconsciously, usually because of lack of focus or lack of discipline, or mostly, we'll just say it to you, lack of really wanting to feel good. Because if you really wanted to feel good, you would by now have trained yourself into finding the thoughts that do feel good. You've got to admit hatred does not feel good. And yet you accept it as part of life experience because you believe that conditions have to change before your hatred can go away. Fear does not feel good. But you don't let go of it because you believe that that thing that is making you believe that you are afraid, or that thing that is causing the moment of fear, has to change before your fear can subside. And that's what we're wanting you to understand here today. That's living life conditionally. That's needing to control conditions you can't control in order to adjust your vibration to something that feels good. And there is a much easier way of going about it. Not only is it easier, and not only will it keep you in a place of feeling better, but it is essential to being the maintainer It is essential to being the achiever and then the maintainer of your deliberate vibrational offering. And that's what deliberate creation is. Deliberate creation is understanding law of attraction and understanding your guidance system and understanding your own emotions and then doing something about it when you feel emotion. Now, what we would do if we were standing in your physical shoes, what we would do about negative emotion is we would find the path of least resistance into feeling better. We would talk ourselves into feeling better. We would focus ourselves into feeling better. And often humans say, oh, no, 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 no. Esther would say, Abraham, clearly you have a different opinion about this than I do, because I feel rotten. And I believe you. I believe that the reason I feel rotten is because I have varied from what I really know about this. But Abraham, I think you need more information. Because surely if you knew what I know, you wouldn't still feel the way you feel. And we say, we would, because that is our determination. That is our decision. Because we understand the laws of the universe. We understand that like attracts like. And we stand in that non-resistant place as your guidance to assist you in finding alignment with all that you want. So it's such a wonderful thing. You've come with such reason and purpose. You came into this time-space reality, very clearly came forth in order to create your own reality. That's what you wanted. That's what you said you would do, and that's what you knew you would do. And you knew that creating your own reality was really a sort of three-step process. You knew that the contrasts that surrounded you would cause you to focus. It would cause you to ask for what you want. You knew that. And you also knew, when you made the decision to come forth, that when you ask, that the source within you would hold the vibrational frequency of what you're asking for. You knew that. You knew that when you ask, that you would be backed up by all that you are. You knew that when you ask, that the source within you would hold your idea, your expansion steady. You knew that when you ask, it would be given. You knew that when you ask, it would be given exactly. We wrote a whole book about that. You knew that when you ask, it would be given. That's step 2. You also knew that once you ask, and life causes you to do it all day, every day, and once source gives, or becomes is a better way, ask and source becomes the very that you are asking for. You knew then that your next step must be to find a way of being in the receptive mode of what you're asking for. You knew that you can't want something and doubt it, that you can't want something and not believe it. You knew that you can't want it and criticize the absence of it. You knew that you couldn't want it and notice mostly that it isn't there. You knew when you came into this physical body that you would have to be, if you were to be the deliberate creator of your experience, which is why you came forth, you knew that you would have to be one who lives unconditionally for this reason. Everything that you create is a vibrational reality for a while before it becomes a condition or a thing or a state of being. Jerry wanted to write a book, talked about it a lot, and he wanted to call it Turning Thoughts to Things. How is it that the vibrational nature of that which is you becomes the tangible, see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it version? And the way that that happens is because that is the leading edge. That is the momentous expansion. That is the natural evolution. That is the ultimate progress. That is the reason that we are all focused here. Because you are supposed to turn your thoughts to things. You are supposed to let the vibrational nature that is you demonstrate itself in the fullest fashion. You have come forth to deliberately create joyful, abundant, delicious experience, you see. But you can't create something that is new and more delicious if you're looking at something that is present and not so delicious. Because whatever has your attention has got your vibration. And whatever has caused your vibration to emanate is controlling the point of attraction that's coming back. So that's why we're talking about being unconditional in your point of attraction. Caring less about what is and more about how you feel. So we want to, before we open this to conversation with you, and we are about to do that, we want to just show you briefly, sort of demonstrate to you how thoughts do turn to things, or in a more expanded way of saying it, how the vibration that is the source within you, in your vortex, How does that accomplishment, how does that expansion, how does that knowledge, how does that fabulous vibrational creation, how does that become a vibrational reality in your experience, where you can devour it through all of your physical senses, where others can then observe the power of your creation? How do you demonstrate how the energy that creates worlds has flowed through you? How do you demonstrate what your tapestry is, what your ideas are, what you have carved out, what you have uniquely created? How do you turn those ideas to the manifested version? Here's how. The vibration exists, and the first, let's call it a manifestation, or even better, let's call it a realization of it, is a thought. That's what's happening here with Esther right now. We are offering a vibration, and she is realizing it. We're offering a vibration. We're consciousness, powerfully focused, and focused about you specifically here in this room. We're offering a vibration about that, and Esther is receiving the vibration because she is in vibrational sync with that which we are. So the thoughts are occurring to her. That's a manifestation. And the emotion that reflects that blending is present too. So that's the first step in the vibration turning to a thing, let's say. But then there is the impulses that occur to you. There is the rendezvous with this one and this one and this one. There is the idea. There is the then inspired action. There is the harmonic components. There is the harmonic convergence. There is all of that delicious life experience that happens between the idea. You said, I got a great idea. And we say, you received a great idea. You were in vibrational sync and you received a great idea. Hold yourself in that vibrational frequency and watch the further evolution of that great idea into manifestations of mastery, you see. Or be like most humans, somewhere between the idea and the manifestation of it, focus on the condition instead of the unconditioned, and in the absence of the fullness of that which you want, introduce resistance in it and keep it from happening. You see? You got that, didn't you? You understand the unconditional creation. And now that you understand unconditioned, that means you understand that it's all about the way you feel. It's all about doing something deliberately about controlling your point of attraction. But we want to use a different word than point of attraction. We want to use the word point of reception, because the revelation is happening constantly. The only question is, are you realizing it? Are you in the vibrational frequency where you're getting it? How often do your little children get it? Because they're clear, they're pure, they're all wadded up in belief. You work hard to get them to get wadded up in belief, you do. You're too frivolous, little child. You think that the universe revolves around you, you foolish, foolish child, you say, when they know that it really, really does. You think that life is supposed to be simple and easy for you. They know it, but you're gonna get them. In most cases, children will reflect the beliefs of their parents, and then you'll come and see us years later. And we will help you forget all the stuff they taught you that isn't good for you. We will help you to remember that you are the creator of your own reality, that you are a vibrational being in a vibrational universe, and that you've got all that is on your side, and that you are never alone, and that whatever it is that you are wanting can be your experience. But you've got to find the frequency of it and practice it until it becomes dominant within you. You can't mess around with this. You can't use words that you don't mean, because the universe does not respond to what you're saying. The universe responds to what you mean. And what you mean is how you feel. So if you're discouraged, that's your point of attraction. If you're ornery, that's your point of attraction. If you're mad at somebody, that's your point of attraction. If you're joyful, that's your point of attraction. In other words, this is very simple.